Hi, my name's Daniel. I am the owner of Prime Detail, and I'm going to be doing a little demonstration for you. Okay, so when we get to a vehicle, of course, we vacuum everything up, and one of the biggest areas of concern is where we keep our drinks and all of our phone and all our stuff right here in the middle. Okay, so a lot of crumbs, a lot of just stuff gets built up here, and I'm going to be showing you how. How we clean this stuff so you can do it yourself, or you could have us go out there and do it. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take out any trash. There's some Mexican coins in here. Normally I would vacuum all that stuff up, but we're doing a demo for you here. So right away you can see that there's some kind of waxy stuff in here. We are in a 2025 Audi Q3 S-Line edition. Okay, this is the black ops, so everything's kind of blacked out, which if you have a black car, you know that everything shows up on black. Okay, so one of the first things I like to do is kind of get all the dust out of there, and I'll also introduce you to some of the tools as we go along. So this is for applying the dressing. All right, so what we're gonna do first is we're gonna take all the dust out, okay? Now that we have the dust out, our three main tools that we like to use in center consoles are going to be a brush, a brush with some stiffer bristles for some of these crevices that are kind of hard to get into, and then you have your little picks, okay? And so these little picks are good for things like removing these inserts right here. Okay, so you want to get these things out so you can clean these individually. So you can see there's a bunch of stuff on there, and I'll show you that here in a second. And I think this one comes out. No, that one's in there. And you can see there's a little bit of damage to it, right? There's nothing we can do about that underneath there. So you also want to be very, very careful when you're taking out some of this stuff right here. Okay, now if you can't get it out with the pick, this little brush here will get that stuff out. So we're gonna loosen some of this stuff up before we actually get in there and start scrubbing. See a bunch of stuff coming up. Your gear shifter, a lot of debris gets inside of there, and you want to be careful because you don't want to scratch this stuff here. You gotta be kind of gentle with it. Okay, and so right now basically what we're doing is we're kind of loosening up some of these things that are in these crevices here. Okay, so now that we've kind of loosened them up, okay, we're gonna go and go through it a little bit more, get some of that dust out. And this right here, this is called a Tornador. This is the Z014. Okay, you can get these on Amazon. This is that we use the Tornador brand, and I've tried several different types of these Tornador devices. Okay, they hook up to your air hose, and you can see, so you just plug it in right there. And what it does is this little thing spins inside of there, and it agitates as it's blowing air. It doesn't just blow air, it actually agitates the surface. So you get a lot more dust and debris out every time you squeeze the trigger. So the other knockoff brands of this, they work okay. I've used several different types. This one has lasted me the longest. It's very consistent with results. They are about $60-$65. The other ones, you can get them anywhere from 10, 20 bucks, 30 bucks for a decent one. They just don't last as long. This cone wears out and it eventually breaks. Okay, this one is wearing. I need to replace it soon, but you want to take these off, clean them up. But yeah, all right, so the next step you're going to want to do is you're going to take some cleaner. We use it's our secret sauce. I can't give you the recipe, but you can basically use any cleaner not any cleaner you like, but you can find a cleaner you like. Test it on an area of your car where it's kind of inconspicuous to make sure that it doesn't cause any kind of staining or does any damage to the plastics. Okay, this one doesn't do that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to spray a liberal amount. And you can get it on your electronic devices. It's, as long as you're not saturating it, it will be fine. Like I said, you just don't want to saturate it, but you can spray it really, really good. Pull up your shifter boot here, clean all around it. Kind of put it inside of there, put it on there. Make sure you get in the corners of these cup holders. It's a very, very tricky area right there. Okay, then you want to get inside all these crevices. I usually do this about twice before I'm done cleaning inside of here, okay? So now here's a really, really important step. You're gonna wanna kind of wipe as much of this down as you can, right? You wanna get as much excess liquid as you can, because once we spray it, you'll see that it's gonna fly all over the place. So you're really wanting to just get the you're wanting to pick up the excess and just leave a little bit behind so that it's not spraying everywhere. Now this is a little trick that I've learned. You're going to want to spray and use your towel to cover around it, right? So it's not spraying everywhere, it's going to spray into your towel. Start to see that everything's starting to become clean, but now you'll see little stains where you can work a little bit harder on that stuff right there. And it's like that little area there. I saw there's some right inside of here. If you look right there, there's still some more. Okay, see, pull that stuff up, and see the cup holders. You'd be surprised. Anytime you get a soda or coffee, little bits may spill out. No matter how careful you are, there's always going to be a little bit of coffee that gets inside of here. Okay, so now we're going to spray it all over again. These brushes will get inside of these crevices. On the sides. This car in particular is kind of hard to get deep in there. Pick up possible. Little insert that we were talking about earlier. Spray a little bit on there. You can use that. The bristles on this thing are a little bit stiffer. Things like this take a little bit more work to get them super clean. Okay, get your little tab back. Okay, a little wipe down. Okay. Bit of stuff in there. Got it. So when we go into a car, nothing gets left unturned. Okay, we go through every nook and cranny, try to make sure that everything comes out nice, because our main priority is making sure that our customer is happy with the service. And when you're paying for somebody to clean your car, you want it to be cleaned professionally, right? So, okay, so that's the cleaning part. Now, let me go grab, I don't know if you can pause it, but let me grab the... Now, with your dressing, you're gonna want 2 towels. You're gonna want one that's gonna get wet and one of them that's gonna stay dry, okay? So I always like to use 2 different colors, very, very soft towels. They're not going to make any kind of scratches on here. They're gonna apply your dressing or protectant, whatever you want to call it, very gently, okay? And I also like to use this little brush. It's very soft. It transfers this the dressing very, very well, and it gets inside the little cracks and crevices, so nothing gets unprotected. And you'll see right now what I'm talking about. All right, so I'll spray a little bit on my brush. Okay. You can use your towel to kind of rub it into the brush. Okay, and then you're gonna brush it into the crevices. I may need to apply some more. And the protectant does several things. It makes your car look nice and shiny, okay, and it protects it from UV rays, but it also makes these areas a little easier to clean the next time you go in there. So stuff is not going to, little spills and stuff aren't going to stick to this material as much now that you have protectant on it. Okay, so now that I have some on here, I'm gonna go through and rub it all over the place, go over all the spots that I went through with the brush. boot. You gotta get into those tight spots. Now that we've spread all that, we're gonna go back through and wipe it down with the dry towel. And what this does is it kind of smooths everything out, picks up the excess. This little area right here that had some smudges earlier, it's gonna make it look nice and clean. Don't be afraid to get into the crevices with your fingers. Spots like that. So some of these finishes can be really, really hard to make look nice. You just got to work your towel in there. Just takes a little bit of elbow grease, if you know what I mean. And that's it. So, oh, one more piece. Sorry about that. That's probably too much, but. So I will tell you, there's another little thing that I've learned over the years. When you're cleaning the interior of a car, you're gonna have different types of plastics that you have to work with, okay? I don't know exactly what they're called, but this type of plastic right here, it's kind of rough, okay? And then you have this smooth plastic. The smooth plastic here and here that you see, and this stuff, it's a little harder to work with. So you just have to make sure that you have your dry towel all the time. Kind of clean all that stuff up, smooth it all out, okay? On this rougher stuff, when you apply your dressing to it, it takes it a lot better than the smooth plastic. Okay, and you don't have to worry about it being streaky. You can put plenty of protectants on there, and it just takes dressing a lot better, and it's a little bit quicker to go over that stuff than it is the smoother plastics. But I always like to take some of the excess off because it can be a little greasy for people, and although we do like it shiny, we don't like it greasy. Okay, and so that is how you do this. Now normally with our details, we'll do the whole dash. We'll do all the air vents. We get into all the air vents. We clean your screen, we clean all the buttons, door panels, between the seats, everything gets wiped down, everything gets protected, scrubbed, cleaned, all that stuff, okay? So when we do a detail, we do that deep of a detail throughout the entire vehicle, okay? We don't mess around when it comes to cleaning people's cars. So like I said, that's a DIY. You can do it yourself or you can give us a call, okay? All right, like I said, my name's Daniel. I'm with Prime Mobile Auto Detail, and hope you have a great day.